Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. What an opportunity there is right now for us to talk about reinvention. My name is Kamoya Benjamin, and my role here today is to make reinvention simple. Every day at 1:30 East African time, I'm coming alongside you and just being a free teaching just to up-level your level of awareness, to give you insights and ahas that will help you as you navigate your reinvention journey. As always, my purpose is to help leaders reinvent themselves for more impact and more income. And that's what I want us to talk about today, because as the year comes to the beginning and, we're starting the year, a lot of us, are setting goals where we've got, plans that we have there. There are things that we're looking to accomplish in the year. And when the year begins, we start with a lot of gusto, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and we're raring to go. And what you find is that as soon as the year begins and we're running and we're, pursuing the goals, as the year progresses, you find that energy is dissipating. You find that energy is waning. You find that the grip that we had on our goals, dreams, and desires is beginning to just wane down. What is the purpose for this session today? Is to talk about stickability. Now, stickability is the ability or the extent to which you follow through on ideas, commitments, whatever it is that you decided to do. In other words, when you start on something, we talk about your level of stickability in description to the how long you can hold on to an idea, how long you can run with an idea, how long you can continue to persist, even in the face of opposition and difficulties, on an idea that you have. And as we talk about reinvention made simple daily, today's session is just to talk about stickability and to really explore ways that you can develop that follow through, that fortitude, that you are holding this idea, holding this image of the possibility, of the dream, of the desire, and sticking with it to the very end. That's what stickability is. And so let's get started. Let's dive into it. My desire is that you will, come out of this next 20 to 30 minutes with an idea that will create forward motion in your life as you go on to pursue your dreams. So stickability is the ability, is the power, is the level of commitment that you have to follow through on an idea and to hold on to it. Now, I've talked about this in another session, which is the 6 powers of man, or the 6 intellectual faculties. And one of those powers is willpower. Will is one of the mental faculties. And if you want to access that, here's a simple way you can access the 6 powers of man. All the courses that I teach every Saturday are available live, like I'm doing this one. And after I record them live, then you will be able to access them if you are in my inner circle. Only the people in my inner circle get to have these for lifetime, as long as they're members in my inner circle. So if you want to access the 6 powers of man, send an email to reinvention@kamoya.com or go to kamoya.com, sign up to the Manifest Your Brilliance Inner Circle. It's just $10 a month, and it's just designed to have you stay in that learning space to grow, develop, raise your level of awareness. And I also come alongside you on a live call where I teach and I talk and I answer your questions and support you in that way. So if you're asking, where do I find this? Go on to kamoya.com and you'll be able to access that and more resources through the inner circle, the Manifest Your Brilliance Inner Circle. So we've talking about stickability, and I'm referring to one of the mental faculties that I taught about, which is will. And will is our ability to hold an idea, to the exclusion of every other distraction until we realize it. It's one of the mental faculties, and the mental faculties are reason, intuition, will, perception, memory, and imagination. Those are the 6 mental faculties, or the intellectual faculties, your powers of man. We've been taught to relate with the physical world, that we use our eyes, we see, nose, we smell, mouth, we taste, hands, we touch, ears, we hear. Those are the 5 senses that allow us to interact with the physical world. But what about the intellectual world? What are the faculties that help us to interact with that? Reason is one of them. Will is one of them. And so when we're talking about stickability, will has to come into the discussion. We've got to talk about it, because will is the strength and the fortitude that you have within you, the level of commitment that is within you, the level of resolve that is within you to say, I am going to get this. This is the path that I need to take, and sticking on that path uses the power of your will, the power of your will. I resolve that I'm making this decision and I'm moving forward. Now, stickability is driven by your level of awareness. Stickability is driven by the level of your awareness. And we've talked about the levels of awareness again in another video. Go into Manifest Your Brilliance and you'll understand all the seven levels of awareness. And what you find is that people who are unable to stick with an idea are struggling because they're operating from one of the lower levels of awareness. The level of awareness called discipline is where you give yourself a command and you go. That's level 5, discipline. You give yourself a command and you just follow through on it. Think about when people start the year and they want to lose weight, they want to get fit, healthy, and what have you, and they say, I'm going to go to the gym. They give themselves a command and they go to the gym for month 1, January, February, March, and then by April, they're no longer in the gym. Or if they're still going, they're not going at the same frequency. They are doing 4 days, now they are doing 1 day, they are finding an excuse, and definitely by June, the gyms are empty. It's because they're operating from this level of awareness below discipline, where they haven't developed their will to give themselves a command and to follow through. So in today's discussion, if we're talking about developing the mental muscle is a function of your awareness. Remember, we talked about it in another session that choice is a function of awareness. To the extent that you are aware, then you choose. Choice is a function of awareness. To the extent that you are aware, then you choose. So why is it that people are struggling to stick to their goals? And how do you become the person who does not struggle to achieve your goals? Here it is. And I talked about it in the last session. You need to have a strong why. You need to have a strong why. Why am I doing this? Why am I going to the gym? Why am I starting a business? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are you doing them? When a new year begins or when a new season begins, people are always resolving, like, I'm going to do this year. I'm going to change this. I'm going to be that guy. And they're not able to stick with it because their why is weak. Let me give you a good example of what why really refers to. And I learned this amazing from Darren Hardy. It was a mentor at some point in my life. And this is what he says. If I give you $10 and I put a pole between two tall buildings, okay? 2 tall buildings, and I put a pole from one building to the next. And I tell you, I'm going to give you $10 if you walk across. I'm going to give you $10 if you walk across to the other side. You'll tell me never. I'll never do it. I don't care. Even if you give me $500, I'm not risking my life for it. All right? Now, if I have a child on the other side, or if I have, an elderly woman on the other side of the building, and then for some reason the other building begins to catch fire, and you're standing on this side, I won't even need to give you $10 to cross to the other side of the building, because it's a bigger why. Now, all of a sudden, 3 minutes ago, I said, I'm gonna give you $100, even $10, $50, $100 to cross to the other side. You're like, forget it, never. I'm not worth it. I'm not doing it. I mean, don't even think about it. Forget it. But as soon as there is another aspect introduced on the other side, your why will make you cross. The risk will be insignificant. The pain will be insignificant. the cost will be insignificant to whatever it is that you're going to do and to get on the other side. And so how do we develop a why? Because you're either using why power or you're using willpower. Now, will is great because even when you are in the process of walking through to the other side, your will is still at play. It's not like your will is checked out and it's off and it's not responsible for. Your will is there. It's at play. It's at work, and it's helping you to focus and to hold this one idea. There's nothing else I'm doing right now. I'm just focusing, and your will comes into play as you put one step in front of the other, walking on this pole to get to the other side of the building to save this elderly woman, elderly man, whatever the situation may be, a pet or whatever. But for you to really develop your why, and this is where the mental muscle comes in. The mental muscle comes in when you use one of your other faculties of the mind, which is imagination. Which is imagination. And imagination here would be to really visualize a future desired state. To visualize a future desired state. To visualize the possibilities. And to stay in that place to the extent that it becomes real, although it's in your mind's eye that you're seeing it. It becomes real. It becomes real. The life that you're living, the possibilities that you have that are available for you, the impact you're having, the income you're earning, all those become so real that you can even smell the flowers in your mind's eye. You can feel the emotion of gratitude and calm. You can feel the emotion of peace. You can feel the emotion of calmness. You can feel the emotion of appreciation. You can feel the freedom from living the life that you want to live. And that creates why power. Because what happens is that this is the first step in the creation process, using the faculty of your imagination. And once you imagine the possibilities, all that picture, all that video, and the emotions that go with it are then deposited into the next faculty of the mind, which is memory. And memory stores this image, the emotions, the feelings, the smell of the flowers, stores all that information in memory. And it becomes as though you have ever traveled to this place. It becomes as though you have lived there. It becomes as though that experience is real. It's stored inside your memory. And your memory is in your subconscious mind. And now as you close your eyes, it's almost as though you've been there. It's almost as though you've been there. If I ask you right now to close your eyes and think about New York, and think about Dubai, and think about Singapore, think about Japan, what do you think about? Mostly probably you'll see the Statue of Liberty. If you talk about Dubai, you're thinking about the Burj Khalifa. You may have never visited these places, but those pictures, those images are stored in your memory. You may have never visited, you may probably have only seen them on TV. They're stored in your memory. And now that they're stored in your memory, you can retrieve them. When I mention New York, boom, the image comes. Where did it come from? It's stored in your memory. A few minutes ago, I hadn't mentioned New York. You weren't thinking about it. It's been pulled from your memory. Dubai, pulled from your memory. Japan, Singapore. And there are specific images that you're seeing. You're not seeing Singapore, the name. You're not seeing Singapore on a map. You're seeing Singapore, the image that is in your mind. That's in your memory. One of the faculties of your mind. And so when it comes to stickability, you're developing the mental muscle by going within and using the faculty of imagination to see it, the faculty of your memory to recall it, to store it, to record it, and it exists there as though you have been there before. And every time you're struggling, in the journey to realize that dream and outcome, every time you're really feeling that your back is against the wall as you build whatever you want to build, you pull the image of the future. You pull the image of the joy. You smell the flowers. Oh, I can only imagine how it's going to be. Wow, I love that life. And your emotional state changes. Notice your emotional state changes. You come from anguish to pain and frustration and despair and disappointment. The journey is hard. The clients are not paying you. You're not getting the clients. You are in debt. Things are not working. Oh my, I'm going to despair. I'm going to abandon this dream. Stickability means that you've developed the mental muscle to go in and say, why am I doing this? For what is this labor? And you go within and you start to smile and you start to grin and your spirit is uplifted. Is this image real? No, it hasn't happened in reality yet. You're not yet earning that income. You're not yet having that impact. You're not yet living that life. Matter of fact, if you open your eyes and look at your current conditions, they spell to you the disaster and the chaos that you're living in. But when you go within, you live a different reality of the future that is coming. And as soon as these images come from within you, energy is is generated within you. And energy here is the joy, the peace, the satisfaction, the resolve to get back at it one more time and say, you know what? I'm going to do this one more time because it's worth it. It's worth it for where I'm going. Now, will is also playing a role here because will, one of the faculties of the mind, is holding that image. Don't bring 15 different images. No. I'm not sitting here thinking about, are we building the Statue of Liberty, or is it the Burj Khalifa, or is it that floating restaurant in Singapore? What is, no. It's one idea. One idea, and holding that one idea. And that one idea is that one image in your memory. It's been created by your mental faculty of imagination. You've traveled there. You've seen that life. It's sat now in your memory. You can recall it at any time, at a moment's notice, at will. You can just recall it like this and see it. And it generates why power within you. And that why power is then projected in reality, in the physical, as you go back into the game, as you go grind harder, as you go fight harder, as you go overcome the obstacles. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, you stay in the game. And that is stickability. That is stickability, and that is how to develop it. Now, I wasn't always aware of this. I just didn't know. Matter of fact, I never knew about the intellectual faculties up until I was in my 30s. I never knew that there were faculties within me that God has given me to create the outcomes that I want. I didn't know them. And even worse, even after I knew them, I didn't know how to work with them. And that's the invitation that I'm going to give to you. Join my Manifest Your Brilliance inner circle and let me help you to begin to develop the muscle memory and to work with the creative part within you and to understand the role of the co-creator that you are with God, because he's more than willing to give you everything abundantly above more than you can ask or think. Matter of fact, I like it because as soon as you've thought and you've imagined, God wants to supersede that. So think as much as you can, because you'll always give him an opportunity to supersede whatever it is that you're thinking about. Above all you can ask or think. That's what he's got in store for you. I remember when we moved into this house, the house that I was living in before here, and I thought, this is the best thing. This is so beyond what I had thought about. This is, oh my, and I was mesmerized and I was loving it, and I was there. And it was definitely at that point beyond my wildest imaginations. God whispers to me and he tells me, this is better than I had in mind for you. This is better. I have more. I have more. This is not my best yet for you. And that slammed me, that hit me real hard. And my encouragement to you here today is this. My encouragement to you here is this. Don't walk alone in this journey of developing your intellectual faculties, of mastering the creative power that is within you to bring to pass the results and the dreams that you know are possible through you. Don't walk that journey alone. Walk with someone. Even if you're not walking with me, walk with someone. And that will help you develop stickability. That will help you develop stickability in your life. So that's what I wanted to share here with you today, 20 minutes. So grateful that you could come alongside me. Reinvention is made simple daily. And I hope that I simplified it for you and gave you an idea. How will you then develop stickability? The power of imagination, the power of memory, that will give you the why and keep getting back into the game. But developing those two powers, there's a practice there that's required. And I'd be happy to teach you and guide you on it. Thank you for joining me here today. Please like, comment, and share this video. Let's get the message to as many people out there that are trying to build their dreams and they wonder why every time when they start, they keep falling down. They keep letting go. Their grip loosens. They don't have stickability. Why? Yet they really want to achieve that life. There's a science behind it. There's a process behind it. Share, like, and comment, and let me know how I can serve you. Remember, write to me on reinvention@kamoye.com. Start a journey with you in my inner circle. This and more available for you every month as I journey with you. Blessings, be well, and